Happy holidays here, everybody. Brett here with Double Shots, and I am doing an updated review for everybody over the Apple AirPod Pro 2's hearing aids feature and how they've been working for me over the last month and a half or so. Look, hearing aids or hearing affects a lot of us. A lot of us are afraid to go ahead and speak about hearing. Me being one of them. There's a lot of times that I second guess what people are saying or don't understand what people are saying because I can't hear a voice from a distance afar. So my wife actually talked to me about going to an ENT and having an audiology report. That was the first thing to everything. Do you know how hard that was? I had to go ahead and get a pre-authorization first and foremost. So before they could go ahead and do that, they had to go to my insurance company, which we've been at the center topic of talking about insurance a lot. Insurance, there's little provisions, liabilities that sometimes they do or don't want to cover. This is one that you have to really watch for. It's one that I think should be covered, and unfortunately not all insurance plans are equal about it. So I am coming the cheapest way to help people outside of that to be able to get clinical better hearing. And I am doing this review based off of my own hearing. So I went and I took my audiology test. I went to my ENT. I'm going to go ahead and show you everything that he went ahead and said to me. Here was my audiology report. This is exactly everything here. I did take out the medical information, but this is my diagram right here that I was able to do. So from there, here's how it kind of went from there. The test results are real. The results are in. Let's go ahead and get you fitted. And let's see, do you have a pair of hearing aids? So I went to my doctor and I go, no, I didn't. So they have me look at hearing aids. Then they pull up my insurance plan and deductible. Yet I've met my deductible, so I should most likely get a nice set of pair of these, right? For my doctor because I'm fully covered. Wrong. Your ENT doesn't want to go ahead and fill out the paperwork because they're afraid insurance is not going to pay for it. Something we hear quite common, quite often. So what does that leave me to do? A, they recommend that I file a claim to get my money back, and I just upfront come out of pocket $3,500 for hearing aids. Coming out of pocket for something that I believe crucial for hearing should not come out of pocket for $3,500 for hearing aids, just for this. So what did I do after that? I said, you know what? I have a copy of my audiology report. This happened to me about 2 years ago. 2 years ago. So I looked at independent companies outside of my ENT, and I looked at hearing aids over the counter, and most of it was more or less online because nothing was over the counter at that time. So I was able to find a couple brands. I got this one. The only problem is the ear tips. They come out constantly. There was a lot of noise. There was a lot of echoing. I don't like how bulky they are. I have very fitting ears that unfortunately special occasion to them. And unfortunately, these just did not work well. And the quality of them would not allow me to hear that well. Like right now with them even in, they are synced to my smartphone. So I can go ahead and I can adjust everything or go from there. So I was able to upload my audiology report. Most of the companies are over the counter, whatever. A lot of people don't realize there are apps for them that you can go ahead and get, and it allows you to be able to integrate their app to the hearing aids. And so I was able, on each and every pair, able to go ahead and upload a copy of my audiology report. And I went ahead and set it up. These ones, what I don't like about them, they are clear. They do all the features to my smartphone, but unfortunately, I do not like having a wire over my. It feels like I have something just stuck there that feels like it irritates the opening of the ear canal, and I do not like having a wire that goes across the back of my ear, plus the bulk of the reception to amplify it. One of the things that will happen out of these as well too is they disconnect real commonly, and the battery life is not as much quality as what they say they are. So that's another thing with it. These were better though. However, when listening to music or outside notes, unfortunately the volume wasn't there and it wasn't specialized tuned custom to my hearing level of enjoyment too. However, I did get this pair over the counter, still cost me good money but nothing over $3,500, and more or less in the $1,300 range to $1,400 range. And I was able to upload my audiology report, so I have it tuned to my hearing. Then we talk about Apple. Apple broke through a revelation with their AirPods Pro 2s and an FDA clinically proven hearing aid test. So I went out and purchased a pair of AirPod Pros 2 to go ahead and go with my actual iPhone. I put them in. Just the case. I put them in. So I went over to this right here, and I'll show it to you guys right here, because I wanted to see the comparison. Because they have where you can take a hearing test, hearing assistance, taking a hearing test, and you can see right here the hearing assistant, hearing aid, and media assist are on. I have those on because those help me 100% of the way. Now you can have transparency, adaptive noise cancellation. So I took the take a test from them. First and foremost, you're going to want to do a room that has no sound. You're pretty much a room that is a barrier like how they would do audio at an ENT office. I was shocked to find out this same report that they did right here matched to the same as right here. So it was almost like I got a spot on test. My hearing has actually been, stabilized for that long of time for the protective health of my ears. So I just took and used the Apple's test, allowed it to upload as audiology, and I put it to transparency so it can hear better with everything from out there. And let me go ahead and tell you, it is a 100% design. Let me tell you some of the more benefits that you have with Apple's AirPod Pros. Number one, you don't have to pay for the expensive audiology report. Mild to moderate hearing loss is what these are designed for. I have mild to moderate hearing loss, unfortunately, especially those low things that I can't hear. I second question myself, but now I can also hear voices from other rooms that I never heard before. Their hearing aid includes a clinical grade feature for mild hearing loss. So that's a bonus for you that you don't have to wait for insurance approval to go ahead and get an audiology report. You have adaptive audio. Adaptive audio automatically adjusts the noise control based on the environment. So as the crowd noise and environment come into you, so let's say I'm in a very talkative environment, it's going to cancel out a lot of the feedback and try to frequency in to the conversation that I am in. And let me tell you, between that pair, between my $200 pair or my $1,500 pair or my $1,000 pair that I have right here, Apple checked the boxes on every single thing for me. It went ahead and did much more quality submersion than what it did with this device or this one. Next, let's go ahead and talk about their adaptive EQ, equalization, that tunes your listening experience in real time based on how the AirPods fit in your ears. So real time, real world situations, everything that's going on in the real world modern day environment, you want as realistic to the creation of sound as you have. And guess what? It brings the rich submersible bass and volume and tones right into that. Frequencies that I don't hear, those low frequencies and pitches that I don't hear, the tuning is amazing without the echo feedback. One of the things I do not like about my more expensive pairs is the vibration and background noise static that would come with it. These AirPods, I have not had that. That has since been changed based off of the ear tip test. It gave me the right tip of tools to go ahead and do, and now I do not have that audio distortion. Background noises, playing calming sounds like rain or in the ocean to mask unwanted noises. That is another feature that you can go ahead and do as well. Headphone audio levels. It sets a volume limit and tracks how often and how you listen to loud audio. So it tracks that and brings something and specializes a skill plan based off of you to go ahead, and it protects it and brings it and reduces the volume or raises the volume based off of the adjustments of the volume of the music or what you are listening to at that time, whether I'm reading an audiobook at the same time or if I'm listening to one of my favorite rock bands or one of my rap bands or one of my country bands or one of my Christmas bands, etc. of that. Another thing it brings to you as well too is hearing aid protection. Those are huge things, 100%. Exposure to those loud, active noises like in fitness classes, live sporting events, you want that protection. You don't want the oversound. That is something that my big expensive ones do not even cover. Even this one that cost over the price it did, you would think would have the same quality. No, it does not have the same quality one bit. Nothing like it. So that's one of those things that I like as well too. If I'm at a football game and I want to enjoy the sound of everything, it has a built-in protection to keep it from overhearing that static and that noise. Another thing it has as well too with the AirPod Pros 2 is active noise cancellation. It cancels out that excessive noise. Adaptive transparency, that is for more modern feedback. So let's say I'm having a discussion with my son or somebody else, or I'm in a meeting. I'm able to hear that a lot better without the delay. Next thing as well too, personalized spatial audio. Guys, this is huge right here. Spatial audio, the 3D sound, the environment. I feel like in my ears, I am getting a actual surround sound quality that I am utilizing for every part of my ear canal and the hearing of everything. So I hear voices coming from, or noises, or the audio coming from that in front of me and back of me and to the side of me. That is what makes it crystal clear connection between AirPod Pros 2. And another thing I want to throw out there as well too, it has a vent system for pressure equalization. Ever put in a hearing aid and sometimes one hearing aid sounds muffled to the sound or another hearing aid sounds higher? Equally vented system allows it to have the same design of sound between going through both your right and your left ears. So those are some of the things that you really go ahead and do. Overall, using them for the time that I have used them for, I love it. I will never go back. I will probably never go, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you've eliminated your ENT, but kind of in a way, you've eliminated a system that can help you virtually save more money than what you are spending, whether you're using insurance or not. And hey, we all have insurance plans that are different deductibles met and everything, and it is very scary going through it. First and foremost, I don't think anybody should suffer alone with hearing. As I always say, it is a part of human health. So if you can't get into it ENT, you know what? This is probably a great recommendation to go ahead and use as a tool simply to help you be able to get something for that mild or moderate hearing loss, or even getting your feet wet and experiencing it going from there. Now, keep in mind, you have to have certain qualification iOS ratings or iOS updates on your phone to be able to also use it with the software and everything. But it is a very transparency, robust system that designs everything. Even when I'm listening to my music, the vocal sounds are so much more clear, let alone hearing the TV feedback or the transparency from that. The submersible sound is just the quality. It's like nothing I've ever heard, even with my, more expensive sets. They are truly designed to help break way through, to hopefully bring a barrier where we don't have expensive ENT visits anymore and expensive hearing aid prices anymore. For the price I paid for these, it was well worth it. I use them every day. And you can even ask Dylan. Every morning when I wake up so I can hear my sound, I put them in. I do listen to my music in my morning as well too, but I have these in my ears more now than what I ever did with my other hearing aids that I paid twice as much for. I pretty much threw cash in the trash with these. I really did. out of my own pocket. And sure, I could have fought with insurance and maybe said, hey, my ENT, wanted me to pay it out. But what would have been the chance with that? Possibly getting it back, having a claim delay. There's so many riders, provisions, and everything that you really do have to look at. Guys, if you are debating having a hearing aid test or anything of that nature, and you're afraid you have hearing loss, this is a great way to get your foot wet with hearing aids, and it is a great option to go ahead and to do. If anybody, I have recommended Apple AirPod Pros 2 to people that are having hearing loss simply because it breaks away. It gets rid of the hassle of wondering, do I have the money to go to my doctor to afford a audiologist report? And do I have the money, or have I met my deductible? Am I going to get my hearing aids covered? For the minimal price I spent with this, I don't have to worry about it. If it didn't do good, it's cash in the trash. I can always go back to the others. Unfortunately, it's not cash in the trash. This $179 that I spent on this device, on the AirPods Pros 2, has been a game changer for me, and a lot of others as well too. I like to give positive reviews towards things, and I'm not an Apple fanboy. I do not agree with everything that Apple has implementation, but Apple is breaking the ground on this 100%, and it is a great way for anybody that doesn't like the over the ear hearing aids, or the big bulky ones that stick out. This is more modern to me. And yeah, it does look like I'm listening to music, but I am not listening to music right now. And even times that I am listening to music, what I like about it, sometimes I can still hear the conversation. I can still hear that conversation if a conversation's going on. So that is something I want to be able to do with multiple levels of hearing or hearing loss. Being able to have that clarity back to me is just, it's something I appreciate every day in life, and it didn't break my bank. And again, my audiology report, this exact thing, if I was to open it up on my hearing aid test, it would show the same exact report as what this one is. So virtually, I know my hearing is in the same, perspective as what it was when I actually had my first ever audiology test done for my ENT a long time ago. However, I've not looked back one bit at all with when these came out. I highly recommend it. Anybody looking to get a set of hearing aids, or if you have the Apple AirPod Pros 2, let me know if you have enabled the hearing aid feature and what you like or dislike about it. But guys, I have nothing bad to say about it. If you have to get into hearing aids, this is really a game changer that crosses every box. The standby time and everything, sure, isn't the greatest quality, and it's not a lot of great quality on any of them for, battery life, especially when we use our smartphones for everything. However, I don't have to call my ENT if I have to change something. It adjusts based off of everything. And then I have the options also to manually do that. And think about it. If and I'm not saying replace the ENT 100% in the sector division of everything of that. What I am saying is I don't have to pay the office visits to go there and say, oh, well, we got to change this. So now you might have an office visit for this. I'm making things more cost affordable. I believe it's making things more cost affordable if you're able to do it, or you have somebody that has knowledgeable to be able to go ahead and use the software and be able to change them around or have them manually change around, guys. So AirPod Pros 2 hearing aids, I give it an A+, guys. If you are looking to get somebody a gift, possibly before the holiday, that possibly has mild to moderate hearing loss, the Apple AirPod Pros 2, they are awesome. I do not regret them. Best purchase I ever purchased. I want to, personally myself, I will say thank you to Apple, because you've given me a hearing back that I lost, that I never realized the quality of sound there was from the hearing loss that I have unfortunately had. So I hope this review is helpful to people that are looking at possibly getting new hearing aids, or possibly might have to get hearing aids. Again, let me know if you have Apple AirPod Pros 2 if you are using the Apple AirPod Pro hearing aids feature, if you've taken the test, what you like, what you dislike about it. Happy holidays once again, everybody. I hope everyone has a great one, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.